Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Practitioner Call. This particular call is every Thursday at 9 o'clock Pacific, and this call is for practitioners, also clients of practitioners. But this is a great place if you're a practitioner and you want to understand the technologies, if you want to know where to go find the research, and if you want to bring other practitioners in to learn the same. And we do technology for the first 30 minutes. And the second 30 minutes, we actually show practitioners how to set up their offices so that they can get the technology to their patients. And also we talk about education seminars, as that's a great way to also teach your patients about this new technology called stem cell activation. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the technology. And that's wonderful. It starts with X39. This is our stem cell activation patch. And this is the technology that was created by owner, inventor, and CEO David Schmidt. He is the owner of this company. David has a total of 100 research studies and 90 patents. This particular product does have a 20-year patent on it. So the patent basically says, yes, X39 activates a peptide, GHK copper peptide, and that peptide is activated in the blood, which then activates your stem cells. And so this is the technology. It is actually looks a little bit like a Band-Aid because it's wearable. It sticks to you. And if you open it up, you will see the stickiness inside. And also you will see a form of organic crystal. This is made up of amino acids, some sugar, some salt, some water, some oxygen, and it forms a lattice. And this lattice of crystal, turns out crystal is a perfect reflector of light. And this is reflecting your own light as we radiate a low-grade infrared light off our body. So when you put that patch on your skin, it reflects back a light wave, and that light wave actually activates in your body this peptide, GHK copper peptide. And that peptide has the unique ability to activate your stem cells, make more stem cells, and reset your stem cells to a younger, healthier state. I like to say like when we were 20. I think that puts it in our mind pretty well what's going on here. When we were 0 to 30, we were young. Our stem cells worked great, and we were repairing. Did we have gray hair? Probably not. Were we losing our hair? Probably not. Well, maybe some of you men were, but the women probably were not. Did we have wrinkles? No. Did we have that horrible chronic issue? No. And we didn't even realize how good we had it because why? We were young. So what does that mean? What does activating your stem cells to work like you're young really, really mean? Well, let's really talk about this. And if you want to take note, doctors, please do. Great idea to take notes in your notebook. So here's what stem cells are responsible for. Stem cells are the only cells in your body that are changeable. They can change into whatever cell your body needs for repair. I mean, when you really think about it, it's pretty amazing. So let's talk about that. Heart cells can only be heart cells. Cartilage cells can only be cartilage cells. Nerve cells can only be nerve cells, right? Hair follicle cells can only be hair follicle cells. It's just what it is. It can't change. Stem cells can turn into anything. And they do for you between age 0 to 30. Let's talk about being born. It is the sperm and the egg when they meet that create your stem cells. And that is what creates a baby. Stem cells turn into the baby's head, and then into the baby's heart, and then into the baby's liver, right? And so on and so on. The baby's born. Now those stem cells downregulate. They can't make another head now on the baby. Just doesn't happen. But what it does is it protects that baby from about age 0 to about age 30. And the way it protects the baby is the cells are going and repairing any little thing that's off. It's a miracle. But then at about age 30, what happens? They just quit working very good. By age 40, they even work less good. By age 50, they even work less good. And when you're Jan Rand's age, they don't work at all. That was funny. She's not laughing. So when you're 60, they don't really work at all. So what does that mean? It means that by the time you get to be older, your stem cells just, they're not active. They're kind of like on retirement. They're not dead. They're just kind of dormant. And we know that's truth because as we get older, what do we notice? Our hair gets gray. We get wrinkles. We don't have that great unibrow anymore, ladies. You remember that when we used to wax that when we were 18? They're just gone. It's just gone. And then what comes in its place? Those chronic issues. I don't know about you, but my colon's always in spasms. I got that, lower back pain. I don't know what your issue is, but you guys could probably write on the piece of paper what your one chronic issue is. And we all have one once we get older. And the reason we have one is because I wouldn't necessarily say that's a chronic issue. I would say it's a symptom of aging. So what happens if we could reverse that? How would we look? How would we feel? How would our life change? How would our patient's life change? And that's what intrigued me when Dr. Rhonda Donahue knocked on my door 4 years ago with this patch. Because I was struggling with a chronic issue. It was fast-growing cells of the breast, very fast-growing, and so fast that it was already in my lymph system. And a year of treatment meant cutting off all my body parts and doing a year of chemo and radiation. And after doing all of that, 6 months later, that darn little thing just came back under my skin. Can you imagine? I was that 3% where it came back. What's the odds of that? So anyway, that's where I was at when she knocked on my door and she gave me stem cell. She goes, I found this, and you know that I am particular about technology and I research everything. Dr. Rhonda Donahue is a PhD in nutrition. She owns 2 clinics and she uses natural to get at root cause. And she's the woman that I would go to when I said, should I use this? And she would turn the bottle over and look at the ingredient deck and tell me if it was a pure product or not, and good for whatever the issue was that I was looking to deal with. So this is the woman that told me she found stem cells. She found stem cells that activate by your own light, and that light is the new modality. And I asked her, I said, well, how does light work? I didn't really get that either. And she goes, well, light makes change in the body, and it's called photobiomodulation. You might want to write that down. Light making change in the body. What X39 does is activates GHK copper peptide, which activates your stem cells to work like you're young again. But that is called photobiomodulation. And then she said, doctors are working with light now. It is accepted now. And I go, well, what do you mean? She goes, laser is a form of light. She said, red light sauna is a form of light. These are all light technologies. So of course, wearable light makes sense. And she says, going out into the sun activates vitamin D. Our body works perfectly with light. She goes, you don't even overdose with light because your body and light talk perfectly. And then she gave me a very profound truth. And have you ever noticed that truths are just simple? She says, when light and water hit a rose, it blooms. It kind of makes sense. So light is really interesting. So she said to wear this. She said, wear this 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. She said, put it right below the back of the neck or underneath the belly button, but actually any spot will do because your whole body's light. So 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. And I did that. The first 2 days, I guess chemo has a lot of metal in it. It'd be nice to know, but it does, because the taste came pouring out of my mouth. Day 5, my skin got super soft because stem cells build collagen again. And then by day 10, it was like emotionally, spiritually, I felt 20 again. I didn't know I had a second reoccurrence of the fast growing cells. So I wasn't really sure what was going to happen to me. And I didn't really care because I felt so good. So I called up Rhonda, Dr. Rhonda, and I said, this technology is amazing and I feel good and let's go share it. And so today in 4 years, we've helped over 50,000 people. activate their stem cells with light. And I want you to know that the owner of this company, David Schmidt, he's the real deal. He started this company in 2004 with the energy patch for the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs basically called up David and said, David, we need to figure out a way to keep our guys up at night without stimulants. And the company was birthed. And so David has been, what I would like to say, ahead of the times. He understood light and he understood, activation with light. But we didn't understand that in 2004. And so the company was it was little. It was only doing 30 million, maybe 50 million a year. That's little for a company. But in 2018, when X39 came out, it was a perfect explosion. People started understanding light and they wanted stem cell. And so what happened is the company just grew and is already at 300 million today, moving to 500 million. But the owner of the company, with all that growth, didn't change. His mission is to help people live longer. That's all he wants to do. We're privately owned. We don't have a board of directors. We have nobody saying, oh, but you have to do this for profit. He just wants to make technologies that help humanity. And so know that that's the kind of company that this product represents. And I'm really proud to be part of Lifewave because of the man that runs it. So know that that's what this is all about. And he's just really smart and he develops all his own technologies. Okay, every technology that you see has been developed by David Schmidt, has been patented by David Schmidt, and has research behind it because he gets to spend the money wherever he wants because we're private. And he likes research. So just know as a doctor that that's what's happening. So let's talk about two of the other patches that I think are really important for practitioners to know about. The next patch is called Aeon. Aeon is just like X39 in that it's activated by light. The only way you know the difference about them, they both look the same, is that you have to read them. Aeon on the back, X39. Oops, if you can read that on the back. And what Aeon does is it activates a peptide. So it's also organic crystal, but the crystal is a different structure and it reflects a different wavelength of light back into your skin. And so this particular wavelength of light activates a peptide that reduces inflammation. Why is that important? Well, inflammation is an eater of stem cells. So when you reduce inflammation, you turbocharge your X39 stem cell activation patch to regenerate faster. So they work really well together. And it's very demonstrative for your patients when you put them on together. So we like to call X39 and Aeon the dynamic duo. They always should be the two base patches that you first put on your clients to start. X39 is going to activate the stem cells. Aeon's going to reduce inflammation. And let's talk about why that's important. So if you really think about stem cells and think about what's going on in the world, you can get stem cell injections. It's harder in the US, but you can get them easily in Europe and Mexico. And they're usually from cord blood. And cord blood stem cells are basically the stem cells when a mom gives birth to the baby. And instead of throwing away the placenta and the cord blood, they bank it. I actually banked mine for my twin boys in 2001. We didn't know why. We didn't know what it would be used for, but they told us someday it will be valuable and you should bank it. We'll know what to do with it in 20 years. Well, they're learning right now, right? And so you can go to Mexico, and if you have a bad knee or a bad shoulder, they will inject you with cord blood stem cells. Now, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $20,000. It's not your own DNA, and it may or may not work. But the technology is coming, right? The reason it doesn't work very long, you ready, is because of inflammation. So let's say you go inject that knee with new cord blood stem cells. You got all that inflammation in your knee, and inflammation's eating all that new cord blood stem cell. And then, ready, you're old, So eventually that new cord blood just dies off because you're old. So what if you use a wearable light technology, and these cost less than a cup of coffee a day, which activates your own stem cells to be young and reduces inflammation? I think for a lot less money, you're probably going to have a better result for your clients. So, or if you are a clinic that does stem cell injection, a lot of those clinics are adding these so that so the injection just works better and longer. So you see, it all makes sense now. So that's really how that works. And in fact, you know, really medicine's coming a long way. And, you know, in 20 years, I can see we're going to be going to the, I don't know, to the doctor, to the hospital, to the naturopath, and we're going to be working with stem cells. And in 20 years, probably stem cells are going to be fixing almost everything, right? You go to a little doctor, you'll get a little stem cell, you'll be incubated in a little bit of light, and everything changes. You know, you take a little something, something, and then the gene modifies, and now you don't have the chronic issue. Like in 20 years, I think everything's going to change. I think that people won't die so much of chronic issues. They'll die maybe of an accident. I mean, it's exciting what's happening. Like we're going to actually be able to experience this in about 20. I'm 56. I just got to make it to 76 to see what's going to happen. So we just have to stay on this for the next 20 years, you know, because maybe, who knows? David always talks about living to Old Testament times. Why can't humans live to 1,000 years like they did in the Bible? Why not? Lobsters and clams live to 400. Why do we have to die at, you know, I don't know, 76 or 80? Why do we? Right? Maybe we can live longer. Maybe, just maybe we can. So anyway, there's some philosophy for today. Okay, so there's X39 and Aeon. The next sleeve that I always like to talk about is Icewave. Icewave breaks the connection of pain. And yes, you can put more than one Icewave on people. And in fact, there are people in so much pain, you got a double patch Icewave. There are people in so much pain, you want a double patch Icewave, X39, and Aeon on them, to be honest with you. And maybe even a Glutathione, which I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to tell you about all that. So what you do is you say, Bill, where's your pain? And Bill says, it's right there on my shoulder. And you put the brown patch right on the pain spot. Okay, right there. And where does it radiate to, Bill? It radiates right down my arm to here. And you put the white patch right where it radiates down the arm, right? We call this bookending the pain. You see, bookending the pain. And then what you can do is you could say, let's put an X39 in there to stem cell repair. And let's put an Aeon in there to reduce inflammation. What did we just do? We popped the spot of pain. Boom. We just did that for Bill. And why does that work with Icewave? Well, Icewave is also a light technology, just like Aeon and X39. And it's a two-patch system, right? It breaks the connection of pain. All of these patches are non-transdermal. There's nothing going in here to stop pain. It's all done through light. Have you ever heard, you remember like with car batteries and your battery goes dead and you need a positive charge and a negative charge and it charges it? Think of Icewave as that, a negative charge and a positive charge, and it's going to charge out the pain. Does that kind of make sense? So let me explain what happened last night, because I did an educational seminar for a doctor's office last night. That's what we do. And so everybody was patched to X39 and an Aeon. They put it right below the back of the neck, which is a great place too. Remember, any spot will do, your whole body's light. And then I asked people to come up in the front that had pain. Come up, who has pain here? Raise your hand if you have pain. The amount of pain is unbelievable. 50% of the people there was 30 people raise their hand in pain. There's a lot of pain that we need to be helping. And so I asked the one gentleman, what's going on with your pain? He said, I played football in high school and it compressed my neck and I have nerve pain in my whole upper back and lower back. I have so much pain. He literally said, his girlfriend said he has so much pain that sometimes he doesn't want to live. I was like, whoa, this is why we're doing what we're doing. I said, well, can I patch you in front of everybody with Icewave? He already had his X39 and Aeon below the back of the neck. And he had full nerve pain on his upper body and full nerve pain on his lower body. And I remember Dr. Nicholas, who is a chiropractor, and he explained how to patch nerve pain. And upper body nerve pain, you put Icewave on the C7, right at the neck, right below the neck, on the spine, C7. And you put a brown patch and a white patch. I just put on him the brown patch on one side of the spine and the white patch on the other. And then because he had nerve pain all the way down his feet, I also patched right at his L5, which is his, what's that called? The, what's that name? The, well, it's like right at the butt, you know, right above the tailbone. And once again, I did 2 patches on him because he was in that much pain. And I did an Icewave on one, the brown on one side, the white on the other. And then I had some other ladies come up, and 3 of the ladies had foot pain so bad. Their feet were like this big. And I did 2 Icewaves on their feet, 2, not 1, because they were in so much pain. And then I had, I'll tell you about the gentleman at the end in a minute. So I patched them. And then we went back on and educated. Then I asked folks, because we had this great little before and after tracker guide. It looks like this. It just has some great before and after pictures and a little tracker. So right before I patched everyone with Icewave that had pain, I think I patched 5 people with pain. I asked them to put what their pain score was right here. And they did. Most of them were at a pain score of a 5 to a 7. And they put that there. And then in about 30 minutes, I was doing my presentation. I came back. I said, everyone with pain, raise your hand that I patched. And let's see what you ranked right now. The gentleman with the nerve pain went from I think a 6 to a 2. The woman went from a 5 with the foot pain to a 1 and a 6 to a 2 in about 30 minutes. It was amazing. So understand that Icewave, when put on, can really get at the pain when X39 and Aeon are doing the repair. Okay. So those are the 3 that I always want people. X39 and Aeon, stem cell repair. Aeon helps with stem cell repair. Icewave takes care of the pain, while X39 and Aeon do the repair. Now, do you need Icewave forever? Probably not. Most people only need it for about a month until they get the repair in. But it's nice to have in the cupboard for that headache, right? Nice to have. So the next patch I want to talk to you about, because this is what we talked about yesterday at the doctor's seminar. And so I think it's really relevant, is glutathione. So glutathione also, they're all the same, right? They all look the same. It just says glutathione on the back. Different kind of crystal that reflects a different kind of light. And what glutathione does is it activates a peptide to start your glutathione pathway. Glutathione pathway is your master antioxidant and your master detoxification system. So glutathione is the polar outer of all yuck, fungus, mold, virus, toxins, bacteria, metals, Roundup. It will pull it out. A lot of people do glutathione drips right now. It's very popular. The IVs, the shots, the sublingual. Well, if you take it, through your mouth, it's just going to get eaten up in your colon and it's not going to work. But you will get some if you IV it or shot it, because it's going to go right into your bloodstream. But the thing is, it doesn't work perfectly with light, right? Because it's not light, it's a substance. And you can overdose it and have a pretty good detox for somebody, right? Because glutathione can be a big push. And then what happens? Ready for this? It only lasts for 7.5 minutes. A glutathione IV lasts for 7.5 minutes. So you spend what? I mean, I go to the hydration room. I know I do hydration room. And I get a IV and it has all this stuff in it, vitamin C, glutathione, magnesium, all this stuff. It costs me $215 for an IV when I do it. And I know the glutathione push is going to last 7.5 minutes. glutathione patch lasts for 12 hours and it ups your glutathione 300%. So where do you put glutathione? Well, once again, any spot will do, but most people put glutathione either usually right below the belly button. Now, what's interesting is that David talks about glutathione. You ready for this? This is new, for pain. So if you got a big pain spot, you can also put glutathione right on it. The reason I tell you this, I'm going to tell you, I hope it's okay if I tell stories, because boy, last night was big stories for me. Once again, we're at this education seminar at a doctor's office. He's a really, actually famous chiropractor in Costa Mesa, California. And once again, 30 people were there. And one of the people, she came up to me, Karen, and she said, you know, my husband has the worst knee pain. And I've been putting X39 Aeon and Icewave on it, and it's not going away. The knee pain's not going away. Everybody else is getting results, and my husband doesn't understand why he's not getting results. What do I do? And I said, well, we're going to patch him, and we're going to patch him with more stuff right now. And her husband's like, I'm getting patched on my knee right now. I said, yes, you are. May I patch you? He goes, absolutely. And he had this big piece of tape around his knee, right? And his knee is just huge and inflamed. It's you guys, it's on fire. You could see it, the poor man. But because our patches have a 3-inch radius, it doesn't have to go right on the skin. So what do you think I did? I just patched the tape on his knee. What do you think I did? I said, where do you hurt the most on your knee? And what did I do? I put a brown patch right on it. And I put the ice wave about, 3 inches away. Where does it radiate? He goes, that's great, but she does ice wave every night. It doesn't do anything. I said, you need more. You're in more pain. So what do you think I did? I put another ice wave on his knee. And then what did you think I did? I said, you need 2 Aeons on that knee. I did that. And I said, you need an X39 on that knee. And I did that. And then I said, and we're going to pop a glutathione on that knee, because I know glutathione is an eater of pain. It just is. I am not kidding. I just did it. I didn't know what was going to happen. He goes, I have more patches on this knee than I've ever had. What am I going to do now? I go, you're going to go home and go to bed, and you're going to wear them all night while you sleep. And when you get up, you're going to take them off. He goes, I can do that. I said, okay. Meeting's going on. It's about 15 minutes later. I'm packing up. He comes to me and he goes, oh my God, I can move my knee again. He starts doing little knee squats. Anyway, it was super cute. So I'm telling you stories so you know how the technology works. And I give you permission to use more patches for chronic patients with pain. Okay. Sometimes one ice wave ain't enough, right? And sometimes X39 and Aeon right below the back of the neck is not really on the spot. You need to pop the spot with pain. I needed to take that knee, and I just needed to put a whole lot of, write this down, X39, Aeon, ice wave, and glutathione right there. So if you are working with really chronic pain patients, do not be afraid to give them a big old patch spot and let them go to sleep with it. Because sometimes they might be, I'm not walking around all day with all these patches. Then wear it at night and go to sleep and let your body repair while you're sleeping. No problem. Okay. So just know you can do that. Okay. And also remember, if you're working with clients with nerve pain, upper nerve pain can be solved by patching the C7. Lower nerve pain can be solved by patching the L5. So with that, I'm going to take you to our website so you can do your own research today, because most likely I've given you just enough information if you're new to say, I need to know more. So where do you go? You go to a website called startx39now.com. That's startx39now.com. And that is our informational site. And I'm going to just show you how you can navigate it. First of all, if you're new today, I suggest you educate yourself. Understand if this is real and right in your heart and mind. And you do that by watching the first video on light. It's only 2 minutes. And once again, write this down. You go to startx39now.com. That's startx39now.com. And then you watch the second video on how stem cell activation works. It's only 3 minutes. Then I suggest look at the pictures because pictures don't lie. And I'll just show you a few. This woman is the same woman. Look at the difference in her skin. That looks like grandmother and daughter. It's the same woman. That's stem cell regeneration. There's me. That was me with fast growing cells in 2019, a year on stem cells, 2020, and then in 2023, yet another few years on stem cell. What happens is your skin just starts looking better. This is nerve. This is C7. Remember, I just talked about C7, upper body nerve pain. This nerve is all scrunched and now it flows beautifully. Hair. This is a man that's bald and gray to a man that the hair is coming back and it's black. This is a finger. The finger got cut off. It died. It grew back. This is Mandy. Look at how pretty she is now. That looks like she's 16. What woman wants turkey neck? Raise your hand if you want turkey neck. Look at how the necks start to even out. The folds are gone. This is a curved back. Look how it's straightening. Look at this dog. That's symptoms of a cataract. And look at how it has gone back to a normal eye. I just want you to see what's happening. This woman just been on it for 2 weeks. Look at her mouth. Look at how her whole mouth changes. Look at her neck. Look at the color. I mean, it's really quite amazing. If you like all of this, then you can go down and watch David Schmidt's 18-minute video of how X39 works and the issues it helps with. Then you can go actually look at the patents. If you're a doctor, you're going to want to see it. And there's X39, there's glutathione. And you go here to the patent, and it does say X39 activates stem cells in the blood through GHK copper peptide. And that's all great. You can also go look at the clinical studies. The first studies show highlights. So you could just read the highlights of all our patches. And then the next studies are the full studies. I would start with X39 and you can just read the studies. Some of these studies show how X39 metabolizes in the blood, how GHK works in the blood, what happens to things like blood pressure, what happens to things like your brain, what happens to athletic performance, what happens to things like your heart. This is all in these studies. So have a good time reading the studies. Now, you can also go down and you can hear from David himself do the research. And a lot of you will love to hear about it in his own words. This is David Schmidt, 36 minutes talking to practitioners about his research. So if you want to hear about it from the man himself, there it is. Lastly, X39 is not the only patch that David Schmidt has created. He is a creator of technologies with the sole purpose to increase longevity. That's what he's all about. So if you want to know more, you go into deep dive. And this is David talking about all the products in 10 minutes. And then you can deep dive 1 hour into every single technology if you so desire. There is the deep dives for your review. Okay. Lastly, if you would like to just see the one page, this is wonderful. This just tells you what the different patches are, where you put them on, and it's a real great guide. So let's just talk real quick. I'll touch on these. Of course, we already know X39 activates your stem cells, and here's some places you can put it on. Of course, your whole body's light, so any spot will do. X49 actually activates AHK peptide, which is in your brain, and this patch is very brain and heart supportive. It is also a stem cell patch. It also supports, once again, the heart and the brain. It builds lean muscle mass. Ladies, it grows bones, and men, it increases testosterone. It also acts as a Faraday cage for cell phone radiation. I like to say X39 repairs you like you're 20 again, and X49 gives you that hot body. That sounds pretty good, right? We already talked about glutathione and Aeon. Carnosine came from him studying lobsters and clams that live 400 years. What he found is their immune systems get stronger with age and ours get weaker. So how do we make our immune system stronger? Carnosine, it supports every single organ, the brain, the heart, the liver, the kidney, the pancreas, and it's a protector of your telomeres. Telomeres are the lady fingers of your DNA, and they are responsible for longevity. Alavida is our skincare regime, and it is good. Alavida, most people put right between their eyebrows and they wear it at night. It's a builder of collagen, and it reduces oxidative stress in 5 minutes. Oxidative stress is free radical damage that destroys your skin. The interesting piece is that he's done research in light research, and what he has found that Alavida in 5 minutes takes an energy signature of dark purple with holes in it to turquoise. And that is why the color of the packaging is turquoise. You will look like that in 5 minutes. I will tell you, the day and night cream is also pure and clean, and the day cream feels like silk, and it's very hydrating. And David made the creams because he wanted a cream that would go on his skin that would not bring chemicals into his blood. And that is why we have Alavida. Women love X39 and the Alavida trio. It is the reason we believe that our chins are tight, we do not have turkey necks, and we have a really great glow. That would be Alavida. That is personally one of my favorite patches. My 4 favorite patches is X39, Aeon, Glutathione, and Alavida trio. SP6 actually works on the hypothalamus, and that works on your hormone regulation, your digestion, and food cravings. It works on your pancreas to control your sugar levels. It's great for people that have sugar issues, and it's great for cravings and great for weight loss. This patch, because after I've had chemo, my colon went out. So this patch has been great for digestion as well. Oops, I don't know, it got so small all of a sudden. I'm not sure what just happened. Let's try one more time. There we go. Energy was the first patch he made for the Navy SEALs. This is a 2-patch system like Icewave. You put the white on right side and the tan on left, and it converts fat into energy. We talked Icewave. Silent night is very interesting. Silent night first turns into serotonin and then into melatonin. My son, who has symptoms of autism and anxiety, told me the other day that silent night was his favorite. And that's because it first turns into serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that helps calm the brain, and then melatonin, which puts you night-night. And whenever he's having issues, I patch 2 on him, and night-night he goes. Now, his 4 favorite patches are X39, Aeon, Glutathione, and Silent Night. And he puts those right on his forehead at night and goes to sleep, because any spot will do. And my son is not going to figure out every single spot of his body. He's putting it on his forehead because his issue is his brain. So he figured, why not put the patches where my issues are? He's actually pretty smart. Icewave, of course, we've talked about that. And AccuLife is Icewave for animals. The only difference between AccuLife and Icewave is that AccuLife was made for the vet community because they recognize acupressure as a modality, and they do not recognize light. And the human side recognizes light as a modality. So isn't that interesting? So basically they're the same thing. And then we have our aromatherapy mist. This is an olfactory process, which means you spray it on your wrist and you inhale. Shine keeps you awake. Dream puts you to sleep. And they both build testosterone and oxytocin, which is super good to keep tissues young. So I just wanted to show you all where you can find more information. As practitioners, you guys are research orientated, and I want you to know that it is all there. Lastly, I really want to show you how I recommend you as a practitioner set up your office to get it to your patients. And my suggestion is, that was a bend down, is we have our sharing envelopes with our mini info cards. And I'll show you how you can order those. But the sharing envelope explains how X39 works. You just read it to your patients. And then you can also show placement, and you can show that they can go to Start X39 now for more information. And then inside your sharing envelope is your mini info cards. And the mini info cards are wonderful to educate. What's in them? The what to expect shows what to expect when they put X39 on. The before and after tracker shows your patients pictures, and you can just read to them that this activates their stem cells, resets their stem cells to a younger, healthier state. And stem cells are the only cells in your body that are changeable. They can turn into whatever cell your body needs for repair, like when you were 20. So you can use this card to educate and show pictures to your patients. Also, of course, we have the all products flyer. You just saw that. So you can quickly point to the ones that are best for your patients. Lastly, we have a price list order form, and you basically can take orders for your patients, and then you put it in your back office. It ships to your patient like Amazon, and the company pays you a thank you check for doing that. And the order form says this: $149 retail for a sleeve of X39. For a sleeve of X39. Then $119 to be a preferred customer. But I like the silver pack. $299 for the individual. $499 is the gold pack. It's the family pack, double the inventory. And of course, the platinum and the diamond pack is a lot of inventory, really for people that want to build a business or need inventory for their offices, right? And then I recommend how to fill the pack. Well, one silver pack is 3 X39s, but if you look at the little football, 1 X39, 1 X49 equals 2 of any supportive patches. So let's fill the pack for you. Most people that are coming to your practice will have pain. So I recommend filling the pack with using this. And I literally, as a doctor, I would circle the ones you recommend, which would be X39, Aeon, and Icewave, the first three that I showed. And you would say, I recommend 1 X39, 2 Aeon, 2 Icewave. And you get all of that in a silver pack, and 1 X39 the following month to keep your stem cells activating. And then you just say your name is, your address is, your cell number is, your email is, and your birthday is, and your credit card expiration and CVV. You have just taken your first order. Once you take your first order, then you can go into your back office. You all have one, lifewave.com/Dr. Smith, and you just click to place the order. Now, you might go, I'm not really sure how to do that. So once you take your first order as a practice, you can call Jan Rand and she will help you place your first order. Kathy or Heidi, can you put Jan Rand's cell number and email in chat? Jan works for me. She's also a presidential director, and she runs our logistics, and she helps with a lot of the customer service for our team. So don't worry, it all works out great. So now you might want to ask yourself, well, where do I get this information? The next website that you want to know about is Start X39 Biz. That's startx39biz.com. And I'm going to take you there right now, and I'm going to show you where you can order your business bag for your practice. And this is the site. First of all, you want to come here and click text and email blast. Put your name, your cell, and your email here. You can get text and emails or text or emails only. And this allows you to keep current with everything our organization is doing. Then you want to come down to the 14 steps to success. And I suggest you go down to tab 6. So write down 14 steps. So write down, maybe you could do this in chat and also put the link in, Heidi, startx39biz.com, biz.com, 14 steps to success. Tab 6, give a gift. And under give a gift, just go to order the business bag. And here it is. Everything I like for an office is here for $8. You can get 10 of these, or you can order 2 at a time and get 20. And you would just email janjrand@gmail.com. Don't text her, please email her. You can take a picture of this. And you would email her your name, your phone number, and your address. She'll make you labels and she'll ship you your bag. So now you're ready to educate and take orders right here. You also may like to have some business cards. I love our business cards. And right here, you could order your business card. So a lot of my doctors will put their whatever office number, whatever you want to put there. And it would be then, your picture, your website, and then the now site. Okay. And here's mine. I use my before and after picture, and then I have this. And I know, like, Dr. Deanie is a doctor in the Valley, and she does I love this. She does her envelopes, and then she always puts a business card in it as well. So I think that's a real nice, but you don't have to do the business cards. It's just great it's just a nice extra if you want to, okay? So then you may say to yourself, well, now that I have that, what do I do? Well, can you see this, Heidi? Am I on the right screen?
Sorry, I'm multitasking here.
It's all right. Do you see steps 1 through 14?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so then you could go to input the order in your back office. And if you don't know how to do it, you could just watch the videos. They're right here. Or you can call Jan Rand and she'll help you with that. Or if whoever enrolled you, you could call them and say, hey, I just took my first 3 orders and I'm not really sure how to put that in the tree. I will tell you, I'll just show you real quickly. You would just go to your website, right? We all have a website. And you literally could just hit the join button. You see there, join, become a brand partner. Hit that little brand partner. And then you hit join us. Let's see what this pops up. This is, oh, there's your silver. There it is. I'm showing you how to do it right now. You click that little silver right there. And remember how I like to fill that with a X39, let's just fill it the way I like to fill it. The green line means it's filled correctly, but I want an X39. I want 2 Aeons. Two ice waves. Look at how much you get in that silver kit. It's such a good deal for $2.99. And it's green, so it means you can move on. Then I'm going to do 1 X39 the following month to keep the stem cells activating. I'm going to save that. Oh, there, you can just now put the information in from your order form. Sam Smith, his gender, his birthday, his phone number, email, his address, so far easy. Website, first and last name, lowercase all together. Password, make a password for your patient. Make it a team password so you can be of service. Maybe it's your name of your doctor office or something. $123 sign, something like that. First letter has to be capital. And then there does need to be, so first letter capital. So let's just give an example. Let's say it's you know, I don't know, Dr. Let's say it's Dr. Bill. You could say DR Bill $123 sign with the D capital as an example. DR Bill $123 sign with the, you know, capital. Put it on your order form and file it in your office because your patient will come back and want more stuff. And then shipping, and then subscription, billing, and you hit submit. The order's in, it just shipped to your patients, and the company just paid you a $50 thank you check. That is how you would put that order in. So today we talked about the technology. Then we talked about how to really set up your office. And then we talked about how you could really take the order and actually put it in your back office so that it ships to your patient like Amazon. The last piece is the education seminar. I like this piece a lot as well, because what I'm noticing is people want to get out and experience again. And doctors, you guys are ready to educate again. I'm seeing it. I'm being asked to go to doctor offices now to do this with doctors. So this is happening again. So you go to the 14 steps to success and you go to tab 14, which is use your resource library. And it's called patching party, but of course, a doctor is not going to have a patching party. You're going to have an education seminar. And then what you would want to do is you just want to get an education seminar invite made. And literally, it's editable. You just do that. You print it off, you text it to your patients, you have it up front at your front desk and hand it to all your patients that come in for the week for your education seminar. This is what our chiropractor did last night. He had 30 people in because he was passing this out. And not only did he talk stem cell activation, but he also talked about everything else he does in the office. It was great. So then you can go here to the business bag. Remember, we just talked about this. This is what you need to do. Either this is how you educate people is just read the cards, right? And put patches on people, X39, Aeon, and Icewave. And if you forget how to do that, you can just go to the patching party setup and it tells you what you need. An X39, an Icewave, and an Aeon sleeve. You tell your story, you read the sharing envelope, you read the what to expect card, you read the before and after tracker and tell picture stories. You patch an X39 and an Aeon on back of your patient's neck. You use the back side of the before and after tracker to rate your patient's issues. You bring up testimonials to the front of the room. You announce anyone with pain come up and you patch their pain with Icewave. And then you read the mini info card and then you read the price order form. And then at the end you have pens and people are taking orders right in the seat. And that is how you run an education seminar. This is exactly what I did for our chiropractor last night. The only other thing I love in my education seminars is under the marketing materials, I also bring this to my education seminars because I think it makes it look more professional. And I'll show you real quick. I have these posters, the poster boards of Mandy, of Marci, and the before and after tracker. So I can have a big poster to share, to tell picture stories. And then of course I bought a nice tablecloth. So it looks nice, you know, the presentation. And then lastly, if you need more than the business bag, you can actually go and you can buy a lot of envelopes, right? Because honestly, I needed 30 envelopes yesterday. We had 30 people at the educational seminar. So I bought like a big supply of these. And then I bought a big supply of our mini info card. There's the order form, the what to expect, the all products flyer, and the before and after tracker. So those are what I use all the time to do the education seminars. So I just wanted to show you right here where all this information is. So once again, today for practitioners, we've talked about the technology. We've talked about how you can get this to your patients. And we've also talked about how you can do an educational seminar to help your patients in the stem cell activation. So do we have any questions today, or are there any practitioners that would like to unmute themselves and talk a moment about the technology? Have they had an education seminar? Is there anyone that would like to unmute themselves and actually tell us what's been going on? I don't know if we have Dr. Patterson here, or if we have any other doctor on that would like to share, but that would be great. And if we don't, that's okay. Then we've just done a great job educating today. Does any, oh, there's Doctor. Doctor, could you unmute yourself? What's been happening?
Oh, a lot of the same things you're saying. You do a fantastic job. So I don't know what else I can add other than we're doing the meetings and introducing this to people and introducing to patients and getting results and getting amazing things that happen. And you covered everything just perfectly. All you have to do is just follow what you're saying and they can make it work. So
let me ask you, Dr. Patterson, because I believe I saw that you had an educational seminar in your office. Did you have, is that truth? Did you have that yet?
it was in a separate site, yes, but we have it every month. We do that with patients and guests and whoever can bring people are interested in the patching. So yes,
So and
Mhm.
how's that been going? Have you been educating on X39 Aeon and Icewave? Do you patch people live at your seminars?
Yes, we've done that before. We attended another person's one last Sunday with Carol and Pat and so forth. And we patched 3 people, I think, or 4 people. And of course, I did 2 of them and Jeff did 1 of them. And as soon as you put the second patch of the Icewave on, like they look at you like, where did it go? And it went from a 7 or 8 down to a 1 or a 0. And another went from an 8 or 9 down to a 5. So yes, it's just amazing what it does. Just introduce it to people and have, like you said, patching parties at your office if you're a chiropractor or a medical or any practitioner. You can do it that way to introduce it to them. So, and of course, when I see people out in the stores, I've done that twice this week. I ask them how they're doing, and some of them ask, I wear a uniform that says doctor on it, and somebody asks me what kind of doctor I am, and I get in a conversation and I explain it to them. And it's 3 or 4 people are very interested in it, follow up on them. So do everything that you're talking about, and it's amazing program. I've been doing this for 50 years and I've studied stem cells for the last 20 years and I've had injections of the other stem cells and so forth. And with the patches that David's got together and some of the new ones I'm sure he's going to come out with, it's going to be amazing, amazing future. So I can't say enough about it. I don't know what else can add, but have patching parties, have meetings, introduce it to people, talk to people, just expose them and go with it. So.
And Doctor is a chiropractor, and so he has a ton of patients that are in pain, just like our chiropractor from yesterday. And what blew me away, Doctor, is when our chiropractor, we were doing the presentation, but he was also working, he was adjusting, and he came back and he knew X39 and Aeon, but he hadn't had a lot of experience with Icewave. And he came back in the room just when we were patching his patients with pain.
Oh.
And when he saw that his own patients went from a 7 to a 2, he said, goodness, like this Icewave is doing something. Like it was so fun to watch a doctor who works in pain every day see his patients with a little tiny wearable technology have the pain really reduce. It was quite amazing.
Yeah, when we bring our new patients in, we do our exams, x-rays and so forth and protocols, and we make recommendations and we include the patches in all of the therapies we use. And we explain to them how it works and explain to them what to do with it. And we've had several people in the last few weeks that just jump right in and sign up for it. So amazing technology. So you just have to explain it to them, demonstrate it to them like you just explained. And if you've got some pain issues, put the Icewave on with a 39, whatever you need to do. And magically, they feel better when they go out of the office. So it's great.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your input
Sure.
on that. And I just, it is 10:04. So our practitioner call is over for our hour. I hope that you guys, that you as practitioners learned about the technology, understood how you could get it to your patients, and understood how to do educational seminars. If we did that right today, then we have done something good. And Dr. Patterson, thank you for coming in and
You're welcome.
how offices are really doing this. Doctors are helping so many patients. So with that, lots of love to you all. We'll see you all next week, 9 a.m. practitioner call, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye now.